have the potential to go at least one more round. Deron Holmes, Shahade Wells, and Enrique Freeman, 3 players you have to know about.
You got to admit, guys, I'm sad. Today, melancholy day. It's a Final Four. I'm excited, don't get me wrong, but we're coming to an end here after a fantastic season. So many great things went on here at FTN. You've joined me each and every week, 3 times a week, Saturday, bringing your questions and your comments. So a little bit of a mixed reaction. Very excited, though, for the Final Four games here. Setting up a Monday night. Many of you know, I've told you this before. My wife and I came out at our wedding to one shining moment. I don't know how I conned her into thinking that, but we did. So nothing is better than the Final Four and a championship game. But I've loved the journey, love going back and forth, analyzing games, the ups, the downs, everything. Joining us here at FTN, I cannot thank you enough as always. Frank Brank's models have been fantastic with the futures. You know Mike Kutry, as great as he is, with his picks and his sides and his props. Walt Waddell carrying the midnight. It's been fantastic for us here. So thank you so much for joining us. Let's finish off strong. Let's get ourselves a couple of units here, make our cash, get to the finals. Last year, we had it pegged. Everyone, if you remember last year, everyone going in the final was on San Diego State. That was the sharp pick. Everybody loved San Diego State. We went the other way with UConn, and it was no problem. So let's take a look, see what we can get. Put your comments in there, like, subscribe. You know the deal. We have so many great things coming. We have some great things to announce, too, for NBA, MLB. Fantastic stuff up. Please join us if you haven't already at FTN. Here we go, folks. Here are the picks. Okay. Hit Dunkin' Donuts this morning. Not a sponsor. Maybe next year. When you look at this game, you're going to say the following. Well, UConn, Alabama makes a lot of threes. Yes, they do. And maybe UConn will be off from 3. Okay. And maybe the big man inside Klingon gets in foul trouble. Okay. And, Alabama can get hot. And that's a lot of ifs. It's a lot of ifs. Let's just look at the facts, guys. UConn is at a level that we haven't seen in quite some time from a dominant team. We haven't. They are number 1 in adjusted offense. They're number 4 in adjusted defense. They're great in effective field goal percentage. They are shooting 38% from 3-point range, what they shot in the Big East Conference, 38%. And they're coming off a game against Illinois where they won by 25 points and shot 3 of 17 from 3-point range. They defend the arc incredibly well. Allowed the Big East opponents to shoot under 30% from inside the arc. And if you want to go outside, include the non-conference, they're still holding opponents at 30.9%. That's top 28 in the country. They make their free throws. They're just impossible to stop. Now, on the other side, against Alabama, Nate Oates stayed true to his style, which is great. But they don't play defense. They play zero defense. They allowed 96 points to Charleston. You want to say a lot of that was garbage time? Okay, but that's a lot of points to allow Charleston. They allowed 87 points to North Carolina when R.J. Davis couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. If R.J. Davis has any sort of decent game, and certainly he was brilliant, first-team All-American, going to be a great NBA player, he had a bad time for a bad game. 87 points. They allowed 82 points to Clemson. Our Clemson Tigers, who almost got to the Final Four, like we said. 82 points. Who's scoring there? P.J. Hall fouled out. Chase Hunter? Joe Girard? Shefflin? Now they're playing a UConn team that's just at a different level. I don't see a UConn doesn't get to 85 points in this game. I'm laying the points. I get it. I think on the other side, there's a lot of ifs. I mean, if Alabama doesn't make their threes, the game's blowout. If Alabama gets in foul trouble, they're going to get blown out. UConn can get through some of these ifs. Alabama cannot. I'm going to lay the points. I don't care if Alabama covers with a backdoor by 9. I'll take it. I don't care. UConn is just at that level. I grabbed it right away for 2 units in the Discord. I'm staying with it 11.5. I don't care about the public. I don't care where they are. Public has been dominating this tournament through and through, which is why we've had some great days and some bad days up and down because the public has been killing it unlike we've ever seen before. UConn minus 11.5 tonight. You want to do first half line, that's fine. I don't think the plane ride, somebody asked about the plane ride. It's not going to affect them. It's 48 hours ago. It's ridiculous. So I'm going UConn minus 11.5. I'm going to take NC State. And a lot of people are on Purdue, and I see why. Sharps are on Purdue. They're going to say, how is Edey going to be stopped by DJ Burns? Well, guys, it's not that DJ Burns has to score 20 against Zach Edey. They won with DJ Burns having 29 points against Duke. They also won against Marquette when he had 4. Now, you want to say that Marquette didn't make threes? Suppose Purdue doesn't make threes. They made threes recently. They weren't making a ton of threes against Tennessee. They made them late, but Zach Edey was a monster. The whole key to this game, if Kevin Keatts knows what he's doing, and he's had a great year, Kevin Keatts. I bashed him before. He's had a great year. All you have to do with Edey, he's going to get his. He's going to get 25 and 12 or 25 and fine. He can't get 35. The way that you stop him from doing that is you commit to boxing him out and you don't release to get the ball. When you box out Zach Edey, you don't check him and then go get the ball. He's 7'4". His arms are extremely long. He's going to get the ball over you. The person who is guarding and boxing out Zach Edey cannot get the rebound. You got to give it up. Your teammates have to get the rebound. And DJ Horn, Casey Morcell, those type of guys, very athletic guards, more athletic than the Purdue guards. Am I worried about foul trouble? Sure. Could Zach Edey finally get in foul trouble? It's possible. But I'm going to take the 9.5 here. We are still waiting for the Jaden Taylor game. And that's one of the props that I like. We're going to look at props later on. I like Jaden Taylor over. Because remember, I always say, marry the props to how you think the game is going to go. And I think that NC State is going to cover this game. And that means I think we have to have a good Jaden Taylor game. And I'm ready to take a look and see how he's going to do. The other players on Purdue, Kaufman, Wren, I'm not impressed with those guys. So the two things I'm worried about is Edey going bonkers, because I think Diarra and Burns can keep him a little reasonable, and them shooting the lights out from three. And I don't think either one of the things are going to happen. So I'll take the 9.5 with NC State. They are hot. We've seen it before. I've built my life on Villanova, Georgetown. You know how many times Villanova at 85 was doubted? The upsets, the miracles. We've seen it. I'm taking the 9.5. I don't expect NC State to win. If you like Purdue and you think Purdue's going to win this game, my suggestion, pick them to win the national title. I think they're about plus 210, plus 220 right now. They make the final against UConn, assuming they have a decent performance and UConn has, doesn't win by 30 or something like that. It's probably going to be a 5-point spread. That's what I projected to be. That's not going to equate to plus 210, plus 220. It's not. It's going to be about plus 180, plus 190. So you can get value there. If you like Purdue, my suggestion, bet them win the title. If you don't, I would take the points here with NC State. I'm laying it with UConn, and I'm taking it with NC State. Over-unders, not a huge lean either way here, but we do have with our models here at FTN, we do have a lean to the over, 160.5. It's a 6.8% edge. That's only a 60% probability. But I think people are overrating. The people always worry. They say, oh, you can't score in domes and teams always struggle. Guys, remember the game Villanova against Buddy Hield in Oklahoma? They were scorching the nets. So it's certainly possible UConn comes out and just scorches the nets against a really poor defensive team. So I'll lean the over here, 160.5. I don't have a pick on the other side, but I'll take the over because no one is stopping UConn. I know they don't play with great pace, but Alabama's got to run. They cannot sit in the half court. In order to win, they're going to push. Nate Oates is going to push this ball up and down the floor, and they're going to let a million threes go. That leads to variance. That leads to the possibility Alabama can score, and it leads to transition and opportunities for UConn. So slight lean, maybe half unit over UConn, Alabama, 160.5. Let's get to some props. I'm still looking for one for Taylor. If you can find one for Taylor, I'd grab it. Mark Sears, under 19.5 points. They know that the head of the dragon here with Alabama is Sears. He's the one who makes it go. He's the one who scores all the points. Tristan Newton, Castle, there's just too many bodies that they can throw at Sears. He takes a ton of shots. He was not hot in the game the other day, which was another shocking one to me that Alabama was able to get through Clemson because he wasn't hot until very late. So I think I don't see Sears having a big game. I want to marry the props to how I think the game is going to go. And I just don't see that happening in this matchup. I don't. So, I mean, I could see 17, I could see 18, things like that. I can't see the really big number 20. And there's just too many perimeter players that they can slow him down with. So I'm going to take the under on Sears, the head of the dragon, the leader of Alabama. I'm going to take the under on him. I think it's a Cam Spencer game. We haven't seen a Cam Spencer game for a while, and I think it's coming. I think it's a Cam Spencer game tonight. The juice on this, and I've been following the juice, it's been very close and very accurate, is to the over. Spencer is sort of coming in under the radar here in this matchup where people don't think he's going to be scoring as much. You look at his performances the last couple games. He had 11 points, 18 points, 11 points, 15 points. Hasn't had the explosion, but he's getting volume up. 3 of 6 from the field. He was 1 of 3, 2 of 4, 3 of 7. He has a 3 of 7 3-point range, a 4 or 5 3-point range in him. He's brilliant. He gets open. I don't see them prioritizing him. I think they're going to have to worry about Klingon inside. I think they have to worry about Newton, who you can make a really good argument should have been defensive player of the year in the Big East over Devin Carter. I like the over with Cam Spencer. He's reliable. He's automatic. It's a high number, and he's only beat this once in his last 5 games. But why is it juiced to the over? I like UConn. I don't think Alabama's going to be able to stop everyone. I think Spencer's the guy they're going to kind of live and die with. He's great in the mid-range as well. Alabama can take away the 3 from time to time, but they give up those mid-range jumpers. That's why they've struggled. And you look at the games against Alabama, don't forget that this Alabama team lost to Florida by 18, lost to Kentucky by 22, lost to Auburn by 18, lost to Tennessee by 2. They can lose big games and they can give up big scoring performances. I'll take Cam Spencer over. I don't think Klingon is going to have a massive game. He's been dominant, and certainly recency bias, people are going to be on him. I do think Alabama is going to try to prioritize him a little bit. You heard what the Illinois coach, Brad Underwood, said when he was facing UConn. He said, look, we're going to guard him. They took away the 3. Their priority was to defend the 3-pointer, and that's what they did. And he said, if Klingon gets 10 blocks, he gets 10 blocks. So there's a statement to be made that you could say they're going to try to take away the 3 and let Klingon get his. I don't think Nate Oates does that. I don't think he has the defensive acumen or strategy or strategy to do that. I don't like 15.5. Seems like a high number. I think he can get 13, then get 12, and then get a lot of rebounds. Don't think he's going to be able to score as he did at will against Illinois, because there are some bodies inside and more athletes inside for Alabama. So this one I lean to the under. I think this is certainly worth a sprinkle at 124. Why not do a half unit? Take a half unit at plus 124 on Cam Spencer over 2.5 threes. You know he's going to get the shots up. I think he gets at least 2. All I need is 1 more. I don't see him just getting 1 here. So I'm taking that. I also think it's a big Karaban game. Alex Karaban has been sleeping. No one is talking about how great Alex Karaban is. I can't get out of my mind, guys. I was with Gus Kearns, who's come on the show a million times. We went and watched the championship game. Karaban, when he's coming down, hitting threes, the between the leg pass, and he banged a 3 against San Diego State. He's very comfortable shooting in football stadiums and has shown that. And no one is really on Karaban because he's been quiet. 10 points, 8 points, 9 points. Would not be surprised if this is a 20-point Alex Karaban game. He's only gone 5 of 19 from 3-point range. If you go back, it's 5 of 22. So no one's on Karaban tonight. I got him at 13.5, and I was looking at his 3-pointers because I really wanted to hit that, but I think the books are catching up here. Karaban, I think it's like plus 190 for Karaban's 3-pointers. So if you can find something better, if you want to do an alternate line, if you can find that for 3-pointers, I would. I think it's a big Alex Karaban night, and he's very comfortable in these situations. His 3-pointers, over 1.5 is minus 190. And listen, I don't shy away from minus 190 if things going to happen. I think it's a good chance it's going to happen tonight. But it could also be a game where they just blow them out. So I'm at Karaban over 13.5 points. If you could get a line over 2.5, like minus 140, I'd grab that with Karaban. I do. And the last prop I have, guys, and then any questions you have. DR has been incredible, and he's had massive rebounding games, but not against teams that are elite inside. That doesn't mean that they can't keep this game close. I just think that he's going to have to stay on the floor. His play is critical. He's got to match up with Edey. He's got to box him out, but I don't think that necessarily translates to a huge rebounding game. And God bless DR for the fasting from sunrise to sundown for Ramadan. Makes it so much harder than anyone else, and he's doing a brilliant job. He had 7 rebounds against Duke. He went 15 against Marquette, but they don't have the interior presence he's going to face tonight with Purdue. He had 13 against Oakland. You know, that's the campy zone. He had 12 against Texas Tech, who's aggressive inside. You had that Texas Tech team that still – Warren Washington played. He played 18 minutes, so he's a little bit of a presence there, but not a ton. I'm going under in this and it's juiced now. I got it at even money, like minus 110, minus 115. I forget what it was. I don't think Diarra gets to this number, but that doesn't mean that they can't keep it close. It just means that he's going to have to really box out Edey, keep him off the boards, and let everyone else get the rebounds. That's the plan. That's the only way to do it. That's what I think is going to happen. So those are my picks, guys. Let's see what you got. Comments in here. Let's see. Jason, you've been with us through and through, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, as always. Really do. Daryl talked about it. Yeah, I'm like I said, nothing big on Purdue, NC State. Full disclosure, Daryl, there have been 3 times when there's been a total in the Final Four that's been over 155, and it's gone under each of those 3 times. But I do think that UConn and Alabama are a very unique matchup where people are going up and down the floor. Alabama has to push the pace. They cannot win in the half court against UConn, and they play zero defense. So I think this is going to be more of the Villanova-Oklahoma game from many years ago with Buddy Hield, where they have to go up and down the floor. Daryl, glad you brought this up. Folks, women's basketball is on absolute fire, and it's been great. And listen, women's basketball has been great for a long time. I just think it's struggled to catch on because UConn was so dominant, because there really wasn't any drama, because Gino and the Huskies were so darn good that no one thought there was any drama. That's it. But what you have now is you have stars, you have drama. You had Caitlin Clark against the UConn team that didn't recruit her when she wore a picture of a UConn jersey on her wall for all those years. You had LSU with Reese and from last year. So you have a lot of great storylines. You have a lot of great players, which you always have, but that was masked under the dominance of UConn, which would hurt any sport. Any team that was blowing everyone out by 20 points, it's going to get rid of the drama, but we have it now. I went to Jongro last night with the FTN Fantasy guys. Great time. Love the guys I work with. And then we went to a watch party at Legends nearby last night. UConn watch party was out of control. Bar was going great. Fantastic. All of us at FTN had the 3.5 with UConn because you don't give Gino points. I got to admit it was a little frisky, but we got to the window. I do think they have a chance. Dawn Staley is a brilliant coach, and Dawn Staley should be interviewed for men's jobs, women's jobs, jobs on Mars. I don't care. She is a superior coach, and I got to see her story on Netflix. What an incredible story with her growing up. No one gave her respect. She had to play with the boys. She'd get beat up. A brilliant coach. I think they have a shot. I think it's high. I think 4.5, 5 is high. But I'm going to tell you this. If you have a question about women's basketball, you got to go to our guy, Josh Gross, of the Discord. There's no one better. He's putting out props. He's putting out parlays. Just the man. So don't listen to me. Do I have a lean? I think it's a lot. Back in the finals, Clark, she's fantastic. Getting her play, getting her threes out, setting up her teammates, the vision that she has, the passing in the women's game is unbelievable. But go to our guy, Josh Gross. I lean Iowa. Don't listen to me. You go listen to Josh. It was amazing this year. It's always been amazing, Darryl. I just think I was really hard with UConn. I mean, think of any sport. If a team is kicking everyone's fanny every single year, it's not going to draw attention, but it's here now, and it is tremendous. Dirty, I agree with you. Dirty, I have argued this. My brother-in-law, I've told you guys about him. Love him. Just best brother-in-law in the world up in Amherst, Joe Polino. His argument is always on the refs. He says a foul is a foul. You got to call it. If you call in the first quarter, you got to call last quarter. Garbage. I am not calling a foul in that situation unless it's just an elbow to the skull or blood. You're calling a moving screen at the end of one of the most brilliant games we've seen. Men, women, aliens, don't matter. Incredible. You're calling a moving screen. You're not going to let Beckers get the game-winning shot off. It's got to be brutal. I saw it on slow-mo. It wasn't that bad. Maybe it was, but you don't call maybes at the end of the game. You didn't do it with Jordan. You don't do it with James. You don't do it with Beckers. You don't do it with Clark. Nobody wants that call. If you took her and body slammed her out the court, fine. Then you got to call it. I don't want it in the Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl. I don't want to go. I want it if you're hammered. That's what I want because it's the end of the game. Making a shot at the end of the game is more important than making it in the beginning of the game. They're not all equal because of pressure, because of the clock, because of what's on the line. Enough. It was a terrible call, Dirty. It's a terrible call, and I agree. I wanted to see UConn take that shot. I did. Then they come down, and then Clark makes the first one. She misses the second one with a jump ball, which means we need a review. Terrible. Just let it run. Let it run. Do not call a foul at the end of the game. No one wants that. It was absolutely terrible. Hated it. Play the game. But it's okay. I think the better team won. I think Iowa did pull away in the fourth quarter, got hot. Clark with that step-back three was nasty. Couple great passes, great vision, backdoor. I think they were the better team, but Gino's a legend. UConn's a legend. Becker's is great. I just want to see a last second shot. I hate it. I hate it. I'm on Twitter about the replays and all the stuff. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, that is it in the house. Lawson, great to see you, brother. Guys, listen, it's really sweet sorrow. I wish we could do this every single week for the next 6 months. I do. But I want to tell you, after this is over, we have great stuff for you. We have Jeff Radcliffe's rookie guides coming out. I'm also doing NFL draft props. Is hot. That's coming last year. 61%. Made 5 units on the draft. Would have made 10 units if Zay Flowers picked ahead of Quentin Johnson like he should have been, but we can get into that later. So we got NFL draft. We got NBA draft. Zach Graham, all of us. So great stuff. But guys, it's been a fantastic season. Looking forward to it. I think we're getting Purdue and UConn on Monday. I really do, which would be a really nice championship game. No one is stopping UConn. I do think NC State's going to cover. I think UConn's going to blow them out. Those are my 2 reads. I got a ton of props as well. Check it out. Kutry's rolling. Parlay. You know the deal as always. Thank you so much, guys. I got my coffee. I'm getting a crumb bun. Really excited tonight. Let's see 2 games. And then we get to Monday. One shining moment. Who's going to get crowned? Is Danny Hurley going to go back to back? Maybe he is, folks. Jersey pride. Had to get that in there. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, folks. We will see you. I'll be back on Monday. Monday during the day is when I'll put out the pick for the championship game. Man, I am a little sad, though, because 1 year ago, why did Dusty May call timeout? Up 1 with the ball. Why did he do that? But they covered. To the window!
Here are 3 players to watch in the NCAA tournament that if you don't know, you better ask them.